have the Aussies, and here are their starting five. The Big O, Oscar Foreman, also a breaker. A.J. Ogilvy, Brad Newley, Joe Ingles, and Adam Gibson running the point. But Big Easy, they've got to contain number 7, Joe Ingles, because he scored 10 points in a row in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think New Zealand tried to stop him, and that he hit some tough shots with the defender's hand into it.
All right, there are the Tall Blacks here as this place goes off the hook. Starting five for them. Mika Vukona, a very strong outing from him. Alex Pledger playing fantastically. Thomas Abercrombie, the next big thing in New Zealand basketball. Lindsay Tate, of course, Kirk Penny now the captain, the scoring juggernaut. He continues to score here, whether it's in Europe or against the Aussies. It doesn't matter who you put up against Kirk Penny. He's going to put some points down on you. 10-minute quarters here. Now, this is how it rolls, ladies and gentlemen. If the Breakers win by 8 points, a whole lot of silverware is coming back to New Zealand, and that's the Al Ramsey Shield. If they win by 7, well, we're going to go into an extra quarter of play because as Ogilvy will knock it back, and Lindsay Tate will have first go of the ball here on offense for the Tall Blacks. First game, Boomers by 7 in Sydney. Here is game 2. Tate with it. Rolls around Ingles, steps back. Looking for help, gets hassled by Ingles. Penny will end up with it. 5 on the shot clock. It's going to make something happen. Tate with it now for a 3. Bang! And that's how to start the game out.
Much better defense from Australia starting off. You know, they did get the shot clock down. They stopped a lot of the penetration from Lindsay, but they just came out and he hit a tough shot from 3.
That's a great play to start with, too. You have a broken down offensive play. Yeah. All of a sudden, Lindsay Tate gets a wide open 3. That's a great nerve settler for the Tall Blacks.
That's how they drew it up, Tony.
Exactly. It's on Nenad's whiteboard, I believe.
That's it. A lot of scribbling in there.
Shane Heal, the hammer, also on the bench here. Prolific Aussie player for the Boomers, as Gibson has it on the wing, goes to penetrate on Pledger, kicks it back out to Ingles here. 9 on the shot clock for the Boomers. Jingles goes to penetrate outside, puts up a real funky shot, didn't look likely. Mika Vukona scoops up the D-board. Here come the Tall Blacks.
And that's what New Zealand wants to do. They want to get out and start running. You know, they got some guys who can fill the lane.
There goes Mika, puts it up, and somehow it does not rattle home. Tight rims here as they were in Sydney. Joe Ingles now with Lindsay Tate hassling him. Gibson over to Big O. Brad Newley now drives, puts it off the glass and in, and that's a good, strong move from Brad Newley.
Yeah, I like that move straight away to the rim. Don't settle for 3s early. Take it to the rack hard and make the referee make a decision on whether it's a foul or not.
Starting over proceedings here is Lindsay Tate. Has Joe Ingles on him. Very deceiving is Joe Ingles. He's 6'8", 6'9", but he's got the wingspan of a condor.
Just got Gibson there. A little bit of a hold as Kirk was coming off the screen from Mika Vukona.
Lindsay Tate to inbound. Fresh 24-second clock here for the Tall Blacks. Pledger!
That's something that the assistant coach of the Tall Blacks, Dylan Boucher, was talking about on their European tour. Pledger invariably got a throw down every game, but someone would help off Kirk, and that's a big play for them.
And that's quite good for a big man to basically recognize when he's free and actually go to the basket, and there's a great feed from them, and he's finishing strong.
And Joe Ingles gets called with a walk here. Tall Blacks ball. 5-2 early days. Tall Blacks on top.
And this is just something for New Zealand. You know, Alex Pledger, as I said before, didn't get much time in the National League here, but yet he's coming out here and performing hugely for the New Zealand team.
I talked to Coach Dean Vickerman about that, why Pledge didn't play much, and his simple answer was that, well, you had Pero Cameron and Adam Ballinger there. You know, there's two fairly seasoned guys that he went with, and but I think Pledge is going to be around for a long time in New Zealand basketball.
Oh, definitely.
The Waikato Pistons definitely had a feast of riches last season, that's for sure. Newley with it, top of the key, puts up a trifecta. That's off the back of the iron, no good. Gibson will scoop up the rebound. He goes to drive, and that will drop for Adam Gibson. He is a great little penetrating guard. Lindsay Tate brings it up now here for the Tall Blacks. Finds Kirk Penny, has yet to score in the competition. Mika Vukona, 12-footer. That's going to be short. Scooped up by Oscar Foreman. Adam Gibson now on the trot for the Aussies. Newly with it. Goes by Abercrombie, and he will be fouled on the way in by Thomas Abercrombie.
Yeah, great recognition by Brad Newley there, realising that settled for the three a couple of times early there and getting his man up in the air, taking it to the rack.
Well, check this out. Great inbound pass, and there's Pledger, all 7'3" of them, getting up and making sure of the 2 points. And Big Easy, you love to see that, do you not?
Oh, you definitely do love to see that. A big guy cutting to the basket, finishing strong on another player.
Newley's second one will go from the charity stripe here, as the Aussies will find themselves right in the middle of a game here. A lot of basketball aficionados thought that it was going to be a 20-point blowout in Sydney. Not to be. That shot from Pledger, but there's Mika Vukona with another offensive rebound. Lindsay Tate goes to drive, loses the handle, and the Aussies will get possession here.
And that's one thing that really New Zealand did well in that first game, crashed the boards. They really got there on the offensive end and put the pressure on Australia.
They've also started the same way they did game one, going to Mika Vukona in the post on dribble handoffs, trying to really exploit Oscar Foreman in that 4 spot.
And losing the rock is Adam Gibson. It will be Tall Blacks ball here.
Good defense by Alex Pledger, picking up the guard. Normally the guards love to see a big guy when they switch on to them just to take them off the dribble, but Alex Pledger did a good job just to keep his hands straight up, make it tough for Adam Gibson.
Pledger with it, has Ogilvie up on him. Abercrombie, Kirk Penny. It's so great for all these players, both Australia and New Zealand, to get this international experience. As Mika Vukona drains one from the charity stripe.
And that's one aspect of Mika's game that he's been really trying to work on, is trying to hit those 15 to 17-foot jump shots.
Ogilvie finds Joe Ingles. Back out to Gibson, works by Penny. Back to Ogilvie. Great little give and go between Gibson and Ogilvie.
Great recognition there by Gibson, realising he had the mismatch. Ogilvie down low, didn't just settle for a tough jump shot himself with Pledger on him, and had Ogilvie for the easy layup.
Yeah, and it was great hands by Ogilvie too. You know, it was a tough pass, but great hands from the big men. You like to see that from the big guys, grabbing it and finishing it in the lane.
Abercrombie with a miss now. Coming back the other way are the Aussies. Joe Ingles with it, 14 on the shot clock, finds Ogilvie. He goes to Vanderbilt University, a Division I powerhouse back in the States. Ingles puts up a 3. That might have been partially blocked. No, that'll be a foul on Thomas Abercrombie.
I think that might have been on Lindsay Tate. I think just got him on his elbow. As we saw Lindsay coming out, good contest.
Yep, Lindsay got him. Fair enough.
Great call by the referee.
Hey, here he comes, Nathan Jawai, Dallas Maverick.
It's great defensive pressure, though, at the moment by the Tall Blacks. They're really forcing Australia out, running their offense too far outside the key. The Australians have got to get down low, get their leads a little bit closer so they're playing from inside or just on that 3-point line.
Now, once again, both teams have already qualified for next year Istanbul and Turkey at the World Championships. But this 2-game series is for placing and scheduling of that competition. So really, these are big games for both teams. Ingles will nail the second one here. Boomers up by 3, 7-10. With 5:35 left to go here in the first. Lindsay Tate brings it down for the Tall Blacks. He'll drive left alone, and that is just too easy for Lindsay.
We saw a lot of that in the first game from Lindsay.
Jingles back the other way to Jawa. He'll miss his first shot of the game. Mika Vukona gets yet another rebound, and Lindsay is running away. Mika Vukona spins all alone, puts it up, no help. Jawa will get the board, kind of elbowed Mika off him, and here comes Adam Gibson now for the Boomers. Joe Ingles on the wing, finds Jawai. Pledger on him, great matchup there, great for Pledger. And that will be a foul.
And that's what we like like to see from Nathan Joa. He actually took a couple of crab dribbles there, trying to get right into the lane and get as close as he can to the basket. I thought on Sunday night he was settling too much, as we see just putting on the floor there, drawing the contact rather than just settling for the jump hook from about 10 feet.
And that's one thing New Zealand's got to do. Nathan Joa, he does take a lot of space down there. Very strong, great move to the basket. They can't allow him to get that low of a position on the low block. They need to push him out a little bit further. Make him work for everything he's going to get inside. James
Harvey into the game now for the Boomers. He is a three-point sniper indeed. There's Joa down low, and he'll get one off the glass.
It's great vision there by Oscar Foreman, just realising that the help that Pledger had jumped to the ball too far, helping to expecting the cross screen, and easy dump from Oscar there.
Penny with it, top of the key, goes to penetrate, does so, and Pledger tries to make sure of it. But there will be a foul called on the way in as Matthew Dellavedova is poised to come in here for the Boomers. Once again, we saw him at the FIBA Under-19s, and he impresses all three of us immensely.
Oh, he does.
Staggering range.
Kirk hasn't had an easy look so far. 5 minutes into this game, everything he's getting is always an Australian player on top of him, making it hard, and that was something he had to try to create for himself to get something going.
And there's Kirk Penny's first point of this competition. And the second one will go as well, as Nathan Joa there might have walked in a little bit there from the line. In any event, it will count. 1 point ball game. Dellavedova with it. Hassled by Lindsay Tate. Joa with it now. Working on Pledger. Pledger spins him out, but Joa will take it baseline and get the two. Kirk Penny back the other way now. They put Dellavedova on him in game one. That seemed to work pretty well for him. It's a scramble, a bit of a scrum, and we've got a jump ball called here. Nathan Joa gets up a bit gingerly here.
Oh, he's limping a little bit.
And this is just Kirk Penny wanting the ball bad.
I think you'll see what we saw in the on-ball defense there. As we see, it was Adam Gibson actually for the easy two over the top, not Oscar Foreman like I mentioned earlier. But we'll see the Australians trying to force Kirk Penny into those on-balls and make him make a pass rather than just one-on-one coverage.
Nice steal by Lindsay Tate. Smart foul by the young buck, Dellavedova, because Lindsay Tate was off to the races.
Oh, he was off to the races. This is what they want to do. But once again, New Zealand, trying to fight, trying to get Nathan Joa out of the post. They got B.J. Anthony Jr. On him now.
Corey Webster coming into the game now for Thomas Abercrombie. Corey, another sharpshooter here from New Zealand, another young talent coming up through the ranks. Mika Vukona with the ball. Finds B.J. Anthony. B.J. working on Joa. B.J. look at that, going right by your Dallas Maverick like he was stopped.
Well, that's B.J.'s game. I think we saw that the other night. As soon as he comes in, he's a pure scorer, much like Corey Webster as well. Both products of the Breakers Academy, and right there taking it straight to Joa.
And he's trying to steal the ball off Joa as well. Ed, how does that work for B.J.'s confidence, that last play?
Oh, that's what he wants to do. He's out there trying to give some help.
With an absolute air ball.
There was a bit of a shot clock going down. He recognized that, had to get something off.
Lindsay Tate starting over proceedings here. 14 seconds left on the shot clock here for the Tall Blacks. Good defensive stanza. Kirk Penny puts up a three. Off the back of the iron, not to beat. Jingles with the rebound. Mika might have fouled him and will get pinged with the foul. And it is a frantic pace here early at the TSB Bank Arena.
Yep, Australia is doing a really good job on the defensive boards, limiting New Zealand only to one offensive rebound so far. They're doing a much better job putting bodies onto them, boxing them out.
Number 13, Aaron Baines will inbound here. Born in New Zealand, played a second Sunday night for the Aussies, and now he is an Aussie. As far as any official FIBA event goes, he's put his time in, and now he is a Boomer. And we get a foul called on the way in here.
As we see, still Australia attacking the basket, putting the pressure on New Zealand's offense. New Zealand's getting a hand out there on their shooters, but they're taking advantage of going to the basket. New Zealand's got to get somebody in front and stop reaching and slapping at them.
Joe Ingles at the line, shooting 2. Now, Tony, he's headed off to Spain, is he?
He is heading off to Spain. A great loss for the Australian NBL, of course, with the champion winning South Dragons last year. But with the reduced teams and so on, he's decided to further his NBA prospects over in Spain and go to Europe. And I think that was the word that he spent a lot of the time at summer camps and trying out for different NBA teams. And that was what they thought he needed to do.
Well, I'm going to find out what he said to Thomas Abercrombie the other night. If it kills me, I'll tell you.
He wasn't too keen to tell you, was he?
No! A great kid, great, fantastic talent, Joe Ingles. And that went off of Mika's knee here. Turnover, Tall Blacks. It's been a sloppy play last minute or so. Boomers up by 2, 15-13 with 2:21 left to go here in the first. Jawai with it. Definite mismatch against BJ Anthony, but BJ is doing the best he can against that circumstance. Ingles finds Baines into Jawai.
6 on the shot clock, 5.
Got to make something happen. Baines puts up a 3, and would you have a look at that air ball?
Pretty ill-advised play there by Aaron Baines, bringing his man over when Joe is trying to make a post move. Obviously, he's not the greatest threat from three-point range, so as soon as he brought his man around, it was an easy double team, and Joe had really nowhere to go.
Yeah, as we saw before, Nathan Jawai trying to tell him to get out of the way so he can take it, but once again brought that defender there, and he really couldn't do much else except for pass it.
Well, he's 0 from 2 from the field, and that's a big 0 for 2. Not even drawing iron or the backboard on either shot. In any event, Tall Blacks have it, and that'll be stripped. Nice work by Joe Ingles getting those long arms in there. Harvey will get the steal.
And already 6 turnovers in this first quarter for the New Zealand Tall Black. They got to learn to take care of the basketball if they want to come up on top.
Nathan Jawai just can't buy one down low. Good work by BJ Anthony trying to box him out. Look at Kirk Penny. Beautiful crossover. He's getting his jersey pulled. Somehow he gets the shot off and gets the 2.
When Kirk gets that one-track line against the basket, he's hard to stop, and took a couple of bumps there. Probably could have got a foul called on him earlier, but just finished the play.
All knotted up at 15 with 1 minute left to go here in the first. Brad Newley with it. In the corner, it goes to James Harvey. Penetrates baseline. Back out to Newley for a 3. And that is off the iron. No good. Kirk Penny will get the rebound. And with just under a minute left to go here, Tall Blacks looking to edge in front.
New Zealand very lucky not to get scored on there. Brad Newley, great three-point shooter. BJ Anthony just dropped off of him. You can't leave those shooters wide open like that. He's going to start knocking them down.
Nice pass from Kirk Penny into BJ Anthony. 1-2. Wow, what a play. Looks of concern here from Coach Brett Brown as the Kiwis really putting it to the Aussies here early, up by 2. Joe Ingles goes to steady the ship. That'll be a miss. Jalo with the offensive board. James Harvey has it. 12 seconds left in the first quarter. They'll be going for the last shot of the first quarter.
7 seconds on the clock. 6.
Brad Newley twisting his way in will be fouled with 2.1 seconds left to go here in the first.
Yeah, Australia's settling a little bit too much right now for jump shots. I like Brad deciding to take the ball to the rack instead of settling for a 3 like they had the last couple of possessions. And Australia really going with a real small lineup at this stage.
Well, look at this. Damian Martin into the game.
And with those subs, they don't really have a true 4 or 5 man for this last 2 seconds.
Have not seen a lot of Damian Martin. He got in some garbage seconds at the end of last game. He's in there now at the end of the first, 2.1 seconds left to go. Obviously a defensive play by Brett Brown. Newley misses the first. Here is the second. And that one will get the shooter's roll here. Just 1 point in it, 2.1 seconds left to go. Corey Webster puts up a half-court shot, and that's going to be just short. But hey, what a quarter of basketball we have just seen. Ladies and gentlemen, the New Zealand Tall Blacks, 17. The Australian Boomers, 16.
The big cheerleaders take us on for the first quarter.
All right, here are your statistics, good people. The first quarter as we saw them. Ed, what jumps out at you on this page here? Anything in particular?
Well, you're looking at Australia shooting 0 for 3 from the three-pointers. You know they can light it up, and they're going to continue to light it up. But also, you're looking at turnovers. We don't have it on there on turnovers, but New Zealand already got 6 turnovers to Australia's 3, but they're actually 1 point ahead.
Yeah, for me, I think it's been a fairly even contest as shown in those stats. I mean, there's not too much of a difference, but a fairly scrappy game at this stage. But the intensity's there. You can see it at the defensive end. Both teams really pushing their opponents out of their offensive sets. And, you know, that intensity, that Trans-Tasman rivalry is definitely alive and well tonight.
Well, look at this. Aaron Baines is just not happy at all as he... And there he is with Marty Clark, the head coach of the FIBA Under-19 Emus, and Aaron Baines is just trying to explain gravity, I think, to the coach. And
yeah, you could understand the first shot, you know, and it's quite hard, especially when we can't get into New Zealand's huddle to find out what's happening there. So we're going to have a lot of Australia's huddle, and we're going to see what's happening there.
Coach Brett Brown, a Bostonian like myself, assistant coach of the San Antonio Spurs, coached at Boston University, the Terriers. His dad also coached at Boston University. As we are ready here for the second quarter of action, once again coming to you live from the TSB Bank Arena in Wellington, New Zealand. Game 2 of the Al Ramsey Shield. Michael Fitchett into the game now for the Tall Blacks, and he is a threat, believe me. Corey Webster with it.
You look at that lineup New Zealand has out of there. You know, Kirk Penny, who's probably got the most caps for New Zealand, but you got B.J. Anthony, Mike Fitchett, Corey Webster, Rob Lowe, who probably don't have more games than 20 altogether.
Unbelievable. Bunch of kids out there doing real well. All right, Brad Newley with it. He's got Kirk Penny on him. Ogilvy sets the screen. Newley goes around it. Newley off the glass. No, sir. Anthony with the rebound. Webster on the run. Here come the Tall Blacks. Webster goes by Foreman at the elbow. Finds Lowe over to Penny. 15 on the shot clock here for the Tall Blacks. And Gibson is right in Penny's back pocket. Rob Lowe with it now. Rob Lowe in all kinds of bother. Will be fouled on the way in.
I think they might have called him for a travel.
Him with a walk, yep.
And that's another turnover for New Zealand. That's 7 for the game.
Too many.
But still 3 points ahead.
Now Rob Lowe, 6'9", as we had mentioned, also a very good three-point shooter. In the FIBA Under-19s, nice shot high off the glass. Yeah, he was one of the highest three-point percentage shooters for the Junior Tall Blacks in that FIBA World Championship. So Rob Lowe can sink the three. B.J. Anthony with it, 12 on the shot clock here for the Tall Blacks. Kirk Penny now in the corner, hassled by Gibson. 7 on the shot clock. Nice pass into Anthony. Anthony makes some room. Look at that by B.J.
That's great recognition by Kirk there, realising the double team came. And great also recognition from B.J. getting to the basket, so it's an easy dump rather than having to thread the needle.
Yep, and as we saw Coach Brett Brown over there on the sideline calling for that double team to come over on Kirk. And then we saw basically, you know, B.J. Anthony recognizing that and going there.
Mika Vukona back into the game for Rob Lowe. Good minutes from Rob Lowe.
17 years old, coming out and playing some big minutes. You know, it's great to see both teams having these young guys coming through into their national teams. It's great, great outlook for both teams.
James Harvey with a teardrop, not to be. Ogilvy battles for the rebound, gets it somehow, and look at this! Harvey will be called with the fouls. He slams into Michael Fitchett, but a great defensive stance stanza once again by the New Zealand Tall Blacks. Mika Vukona will inbound here to Michael Fitchett. 21-18, 8:03 left to go until halftime. Fitchett on the run. He's quick. He's going to find Penny on the roll. Kirk Penny finds B.J. Anthony again in tight. Mika Vukona,
Australia really getting lost with that pick and roll, getting that first rotation there to help defense, but then it wasn't there for that second one, the easy one for Mika Vukona.
Newley is fouled on the way in by B.J. Anthony. He'll be going to the line.
And Australia is continuing to take it to the basket strong. New Zealand, 7 fouls in this first half of basketball. Hopefully they don't mount up a little bit. B.J., that's 2.
Well, if you come to a Warriors game here in New Zealand, or if you come to any professional outing, you're going to hear drums. You're going to hear Polynesian drums, and lots of them. Well, turns out the Australians have really complained, I guess you could say, about those drums. They're telling them to mellow out with those drums so we can hear during a timeout. They're not allowed to hit the drums during free throws. It's all about next year, ladies and gentlemen. Istanbul, Turkey. It's the world champs. Check it out.
FIBA World Championship 2010. See you in Turkey.
That is going to be simply awesome, the world champs next year. Now, Tony, you told me during the break there that it's a FIBA rule, right?
Well, I have to defend the Australians a little bit there. It is a FIBA rule that you're not allowed to have anything going on in the background while the teams are playing. So, yeah, I don't want you to think that the Australians are a stick in the mud and, don't want to have any fun, mate.
We would never think that, Tony. Never.
Fair enough.
That's it. And there goes Podu.
Am I going to get out of here alive tonight?
Well, if you were sitting between us, it might be a different story, but you're at the end. You can get out early.
You're okay. You play for the New Zealand Breakers.
That's right. Newley at the line. Sinks the first, gets the shooter roll on that one. But the passing of the Tall Blacks in some of their offensive sets have been really fantastic.
Oh, they have. They've been running some really good screens. Guys coming off and really going to the basket. When they are open, they get the double team. They're finding the open man, cutting to the basket. Great moves from the New Zealand Tall Blacks.
Joe Ingles back into the game for James Harvey. As Corey Webster brings it up here for the Tall Blacks, finds Pledger. Pledger has been quite a find indeed for New Zealand basketball. Mika Vukona puts up a long 2, and that one's going to be well short. Newley with the rebound, kicks it out to Gibson. Here come the Aussies. Newley, looks like a set piece coming up here for the Boomers. Fitchett on Newley, bit of a mismatch there. Ogilvy sets the screen. Newley goes to drive, gets the contact, and 1.
Yeah, that's tough guard right there for Mike Fitchett. I think Brad Newley's got about 6 or 7 inches on him, and he's a great ball handler and can get to the rack with any player really in the world. So it's a tough guard for Mike, and he's going to have to rely on some help, some rotations.
Oh, he's going to have it. You know, this is the 9th time Australia's been to the foul line already, shooting 6 of 9.
Pledger gets the rebound. And here comes Michael Fitchett, the Spitfire of New Zealand basketball. Look at that from Michael Fitchett! And it'll get knocked off the cylinder by Newley. Great play by Brad Newley. And Fitchett gets a handed. Jawai will end up with it. 15 on the shot clock here. He's trying to back down Pledger. Might have got away with a walk. It will go in for Nathan Jawai.
That's very, very tough to stop. You know, he's a big unit. He clears some space for himself, and that rolling hook is just absolutely fantastic to watch.
Yeah, I think when he gets that deep, you really need to run someone else at him and try and force him out. But if he gets an easy look like that, it's going to be a long night for Pledge and the rest of the Tall Blacks big men.
He's a player where he basically just can't have one person on him when he gets that low, as you mentioned, Tony.
Well, here's your points by quarter, 17-16, 6-8 thus far here in the second. Just 1 point in it. Let's listen to Coach Brett Brown.
Remember the guys. Great passes on post moves. Take it down, make it, whatever. Remember, be an active dunker on the backside. Go to your strengths. You guys do what you got to do when we're coming on the pin down. You're going to stay in quick hands. You got the corner. Just a quick catch. Excuse me. You have the corner, and you are center field. You have Pledger, and you are just a quick catch. Smother the top.
Well, there's Terry Serapisos, the owner of the Wellington Phoenix. We wish them the best of luck this season. And Tony, geez, I think you're right. I think I'll be complaining pretty shortly about these drums. They are very loud in here.
You're losing your focus, are you, in the timeouts, Dan? Switch on, mate.
All right. Michael Fitchett brings it up here for the Tall Blacks, finds Alex Pledger. Over to Corey Webster, Ingles on him. And I would like to see Michael Fitchett get a few more open three-point looks because he is the sniper. Penny for three! Bang! And Coach Brett Brown has got veins sticking out of the side of his head. Jawai, yes, he'll answer back quickly.
But New Zealand get a good shot like that, then come back. Australia running right at them. As I've seen many of times throughout the years, Australia really runs their big guys down the middle of the floor, posting them up early.
Mika Vukona drives, and he'll get two. He waited, and it looks like he was going to set one down, but he gets 2 points nonetheless.
The Tall Blacks are doing a great job of forcing rotations, defensive rotations at the moment. Australians getting hit by screens and not getting through them. They need to do a better job of that.
Gibson goes baseline, finds Newley, out to Joe Ingles. 12 on the shot clock here for the Boomers, inside to Jawai.
He's calling for it. He's got Mika Vukona against him. 6 seconds on the shot clock.
And look at that! Mika picks his pocket, but somehow lands out of bounds. They will maintain possession, will the Boomers, with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Great defense by Mika.
Look for Australia, set some screens to get somebody coming off for a jump shot or get a big guy coming back to the basket.
Ingles to inbound, will find Gibson, he'll get one off, and it won't rattle home for him. Mika with the rebound, but a good look there for the Boomers. Kirk Penny finds Mika, and he will get the ball. 16 on the shot clock left here for the Tall Blacks. Michael Fitchett screaming out directions to his troops. Corey Webster for a long three, yes!
And we know Corey can shoot the basketball.
And he is not going to think twice about it.
Not at all.
He is going to let that thing go if he gets any opportunity.
And it's good to see young guys, you know, have that confidence in their ability.
And there's a steal by Mika Vukona, picking A.J. Ogilvy's pocket clean. Kirk Penny stops, pops, drops! And he is feeling it as Kirk Penny. He had 4 points not too long ago. Now he's sitting on 9.
And that's the thing with Penny. He is going to get his things rolling. I still think Australia is doing a good job on him, making him work for everything he has. But they need to start, as Tony mentioned earlier, to start, you know, coming up on those screens. Bump the cutters as they're coming through. Don't allow them to get anything going to the basket.
Kirk Penny goes to drive. And that will be rejected. He wanted the foul, didn't get it. 3-on-1 now. Have a look at this, and Adam Gibson will get 4 quick points back here for the Boomers. And I think he's underrated, Adam Gibson.
Yeah, Adam Gibson was last year's ANBL Defensive Player of the Year, so someone that can really step it up and is trying to lock Kirk up as we see now.
And Kirk will be fouled. He got hit in the back of the head. And will that be 3 foul shots? I believe it will be.
And that's one thing as a coach you don't like to see, especially fouling a jump shooter, especially when you had good defense on him anyways in that, and you're just bailing him out.
Well, let's have a little looky-loo here. The back of Kirk Penny's head. Whack! Yeah, he got nailed. There's no two ways about it. And here's a three-pointer before. Look at this.
Got Jawai have his hands down. You want that one hand up into the shooter's face?
And he is heating up here. In the second is Kirk Penny as he misses his first free throw. Free throw percentage perhaps let down the Tall Blacks a little bit in game one. And the second one will be rattled home, and here is his third. And Jawai again might have breached the key there during the second foul shot. That's the third time in this two-game series he's been called for that. In any event, it goes down. Kirk Penny now sitting on 10 points. The Tall Blacks up by 5. 3:58 left to go.
You got to look at Australia going back inside. Nathan Jawai is doing a great job inside. They need to keep going to him, and that's going to open up. If they could get an inside game going, it's going to open up their outside game.
Nice pass. Look at that.
That's what you like to see
vision.
as a big man. As soon as the double is sent to him, he finds his opposing number, his four-man. You always like the 4 and 5 to work together in tandem. That was a great look there by Jawai.
Lindsay Tate finds Mika Vukona. Mika, nice pass into BJ Anthony. He spins on Jawa. Oh, he gets his lunch packed by Nathan. Up comes Ingles the other way now. Back to Jawai. Jawai has Mika on him. Goes baseline, the big man, and he couldn't finish it off. And there's Mika Vukona just battling underneath that basket. Corey Webster finds Lindsay Tate. They slow things down here. 15 seconds left on the shot clock for the Tall Blacks. Tate finds Kirk Penny. Dellavedova right in his back pocket as, oh yeah, Mika Vukona kind of throws a body check at him, and that will be a foul on Mika. Shane Heal. As long as he doesn't put a singlet on, I think we'll be okay. Or if he does, we'll get Dylan Boucher to put a singlet on and guard him. Oscar Foreman with it. Brad Newley now. Under 3 minutes to go in this first half. Very entertaining first half. Ogilvie puts it up and in. Nice pass from Brad Newley.
And that was a good from Ogilvie to keep it up nice and high. You know, great feed by Newley to Ogilvie. And he got the pass, and he kept it up nice and high and just put it in.
Timeout call, 2:40 left.
Timeout call, just 1 point in it. We'd expect a highly contested match here. That's exactly what we're smack dab in the middle of. Tony, with a new coach, the Boomers' new coach, Brett Brown, is there kind of an acclimatization period where you got to get used to your new head coach and get the systems down? And I mean, what's going on in the Boomers camp right now?
Without a doubt, all these guys, you know, a lot of them have been part of the squads that Brian Goorjian put together over the last 6 or 7 years, and now Brett brings a whole new philosophy. He is an NBA assistant coach now, so he obviously brings some of that sort of professionalism with him. So there is a period where he'll have different philosophies, and it'll take these guys a while to adapt. But he's obviously, I was speaking to him earlier, he said that any time you get a team together for a long period of time, the better they're going to get. And I think that for both these teams, the Boomers and the Tall Blacks, that's going to be the case.
And that's what's just a little bit different, you know, from when Ted Baldwin stepped down and Nina Vucinic stepped in, because, you know, Nina Vucinic, you know, assistant coach for the New Zealand Tall Blacks, and had a lot of input into the Tall Blacks. So a lot of the philosophies was already there, so the players can pick up that up a little bit quicker than what Australia is going through right now. So they've got to try to pick up a whole new philosophy.
Well, Coach Vucinic is just playing his cards here perfectly. As these Tall Blacks, a lot of young kids, just like the Boomers, a lot of young kids really stepping into the systems and playing well. And it's always great to have this trans-Tasman rivalry here between the two as Lindsay Tate brings it down for the Tall Blacks. Kirk Penny with Dellavedova right on him. Kicks it off to BJ Anthony, and he will be blocked by Ogilvie, but that will be a foul. And it seems to me that Kirk Penny, when he finds himself double-teamed, that's 4 times now he's dumped it off in tight to BJ Anthony.
Both teams have been doing very, very well of finding the open players. New Zealand's on 6 assists, and the Boomers are on 7.
First one is off for BJ. Now BJ Anthony and Corey Webster both play for the Harbour Heat here in New Zealand, in the New Zealand National Basketball League, and they are talented duo indeed. He'll hit the second.
And BJ's, quite lucky. He was just a replacement for Jeremiah Truman, who's back at home, with his wife having their first child. So that's why he's come up, and BJ's really stepped up into the shoes when Jeremiah wasn't here.
Foreman for 3, and that rattles out on the big O. Good look, though. In any event, Lindsay Tate finds BJ. BJ Anthony spins, working on Ogilvy. Shot no good. He'll get the rebound. Will AJ. He'll kick it off to Joe Ingles. And the Boomers now looking to press. On the outskirts, it's Newley. Launches a 3 himself. Off the back of the iron. Offensive rebound, Dellavedova. Ingles starting over proceedings here for the Boomers.
And we still got Australia still having fire from outside. 0 for 6 from three-point land.
Foul call there, and I want everybody to keep an eye on Joe Ingles and Corey Webster. Something is brewing there.
Yep, and also inside Mika Vukona, Ogilvy there. Both going at it inside. And that's what you want to see.
It's Webster and Ingles going at it a little bit, a couple of elbows back and forth. Right here, there's one, and there's the other one. No love lost between these guys, I'll tell you.
And that's it. They're going to leave it on the court.
Webster with it. Vukona. Nice pass into Penny. 8 on the shot clock here. Penny gets it sludge packed by Nathan, and that didn't taste very good, I can tell you that.
And that's Australia's 5th block shot of the game. They're doing really well to try to keep the New Zealand inside game from happening.
The Aussies are making potatoes. What kind of potatoes?
Stuffed potatoes.
Stuffed potatoes. Nice shot there. As we are all knotted up here, ladies and gentlemen, with just under a minute left to go here in the first half. Lindsay Tate brings it up here for the Tall Blacks. Kicks it off to Corey Webster. And look at Ingles get those long arms in. Whack! Joe Ingles setting one down. With that arm span to his, he is just so underestimated with his size.
Webster, get it back.
Australia up by 2 for the first time in a long time, but they are up. And look at this, Brad Newley picking pockets, and he's all alone. And he'll go down for the big set down.
Australia is busier than Winona Ryder in a clothing store right now, so, oh my goodness, they are working it.
Yeah, I think Coach Nenad Vucinic will be quite disappointed with this last minute here. The Tall Blacks having a 5 or 6 point lead a few minutes ago, and now it's whittled away to being 4 points behind.
Well, 10 seconds left to go here in the first half, and they've got the ball in the right guy's hands, Kirk Penny. He'll stop, nice pass to Pledger. Pellerin off the glass, he'll get 2. And that'll be the end of the first half. And what a first half of basketball we saw. Wow. After one half of basketball, the Boomers of Australia 40, the New Zealand Tall Blacks 38. Tony, let me just say, 0 for 6 from outside. Ed tells me it's 0 for 7 from the Boomers from outside in a half of basketball. That is a statistical anomaly, is it not?
Well, notoriously, Australian teams have been fantastic from the three-point line. That's been the strength of theirs. So to go 0 for 7 and still be 2 points ahead, I think they'll be happy with that. I think that's something a positive that they can take into that halftime break. And they're great shooters. They're going to eventually drop. And hopefully, for New Zealand's sake, they can limit that. But I think the Australians will turn the corner this half.
Oh, definitely. As you said, Tony, they will be happy with the 2-point lead, shooting 0 for 7 from the 3-point line. But they can heat it up. And as we saw in that first game, took control in that fourth quarter by hitting quite a few threes.
And there's Newley getting 2 points off the glass. Now the high scorer in the game is Brad Newley with 13 points. Abercrombie with it at the top of the key. Working down on Newley. Nice pass to Cook Penny. And that's 2. Beautiful vision by the young buck, Thomas Abercrombie. Boomers Newcomers looking to answer here. Gibson finds Oscar Foreman. Joe Ingles off to Spain momentarily. Ogilvie, straight lane, he'll take it. And all of a sudden, the Aussies are getting a lot easier looks here early in the second half.
The Tall Blacks just lacking that little bit of intensity that they had in the first half. They really need to pick it up and not allow those easy baskets.
Pass into Pledger, and Oscar Foreman will get credit for the steal there. He'll kick it off to Gibson. Here come the Aussies once again, now up by 4 points. That's a three-pointer from Gibson. No go. Lindsay Tate will get the rebound. He's in transition. Knew he thought he fouled him on the way down, put his hand up and everything. Didn't get the call. Abercrombie now thinking about the three. Goes baseline. Finds Vukona. Vukona long two. Yes! And that was good from the Tall Blacks there to stem the flow of scoring of these Aussies. They're hot early here in the second half. Oscar Foreman finds Joe Ingles. Ogilvie sets one down. And that is a beautiful play by Mr. Jingles and A.J. Ogilvie.
And what New Zealand needed to do there, Alex Pledger just played off of it, allowed them to get deep into the lane, having 2-on-1. He needs to hedge high on that screen and try to stop the penetration.
Mika, bang! He's nailed 4 points from that very same spot in the last 30 seconds.
They gave him a 3 on that one, so New Zealand shooting 4 of 6 from three-point line, as where Australia is still big donut from the outside.
Adam Gibson with 14 seconds left in the shot clock finds a rolling Brad Newley. He'll throw it out of Burns. Tall Blacks ball.
Brad Newley just a little relaxed there. I think he just thought that the Tall Blacks had got some kind of contact on that ball, thought it was going to be their ball, but the referee didn't see it that way.
Kirk Penny with it. Adam Gibson on him. Goes to penetrate. Finds Pledger. Pledger from the elbow. Puts one up. Yes!
He's money from that spot right there. Very good shooter for a big guy. You normally don't see your 7'3" guys shooting from that far out. You normally see them back to the baskets, but Alex Pledger can hit those shots.
And the Australians just can't afford to allow them open shots. Pledge showed on Sunday night that he can obviously hit the outside jump shot. Mika Vukona the same. You can't rely on teams just missing shots to win basketball games.
All right, let's not forget, all of this is about Destination Turkey in 2010, Istanbul, the World Championships. Check it out.
FIBA World Championship 2010. See you in Turkey.
And well, yes, that is going to be massive. The best basketballers in the world converge on Istanbul, Turkey for the world champs. Here we are with 7:20 left to go in the third period. We just had a Tall Blacks were down by 4. Now they're up by 1, 47-46. There's the scoring by quarter, and they've come out matching the Aussies shot for shot, and then some here early in the third. And nobody really in any foul trouble here on either side, which is good. So the referees have really let the guys play. It hasn't been a very scrappy game. And we are just about ready to get underway here. Adam Gibson with Lindsay Tate running into Foreman. Foreman will find Mr. Ingles, Joe Ingles. Brad Newley for another 3. And the shooting woes continue for the Aussies from outside. Lindsay Tate now looking to penetrate on Newley, and Newley will put his hand up and get the whistle that time. Foul on Brad Newley. Lindsay Tate to inbound here, fresh 24-second clock for the Tall Blacks. Kirk Penny in the corner now, double teamed immediately. Alex Pledger puts it up, and this kid is money! All 7'3" of them!
He's got some confidence going in there. 8 points already, shooting 4 or 5 from the field.
Great work from Alex Pledger. Oscar Foreman, we've seen him do that too many times, and it rims out. Big donut still for the Aussies from outside. Here comes Kirk Penny now. He'll stop it, pop a 3. Yes! Kirk Penny
that job getting through on-ball screens. At the moment, they're just being hit and crumbling. Either that or switch. At the moment, they're just getting killed.
Look at that stat. 5 from 7 from outside for the Tall Blacks. 0 from 8 for the Aussies from outside. And Ingles trying to put in a crazy shot from his hip, but AJ Ogilvie is there to help him out.
Yeah, Ogilvie trying to keep Australia in this one, trying to keep it close. He's doing a great job going to the basket. We saw him finish it with an emphatic dunk and also going in there crashing the board once again.
Alex Pledger almost losing the rock, gets it somehow. Mika Vukona now bumping off the glass. Who's got it? Look at Pledger battle for that rebound. Puts it up, no good. Gets it to rebound again. And he'll be fouled by Ogilvie.
Hey, that's what you like to see from your big guy. Really working those boards inside. Staying with it. He missed that first easy shot. Got it back. Ogilvie just could do nothing else except for follow him. Send him to the line. Make him earn those points.
What a fantastic game of basketball. 52-48. Tall Blacks up by 4. Pledger at the line. Nails another.
And that's all AJ Ogilvie can do is just grab the arm of Alex Pledger. Both big men having some really good games inside. Ogilvie sitting on 12 points. Alex Pledger sitting on 9.
Pledger at the line here, looking to shoot his second. This will put the Tall Blacks up by 6 points. And that one rattles out, not to be. Oscar Foreman with the rebound. Here come the Aussies. Joe Ingles looking to press. If there's one guy that can get the Aussies out of their shooting doldrum, it's going to be Joe Ingles. Or Brad Newley, or Oscar Foreman. Or any of them, really. Gibson. That's going to be stolen by Penny. Tall Blacks in transition. Abercrombie was going for the big set down, and Ingles will be called with a professional foul.
Oh, and they got him too with the professional foul.
And the wheels are falling off the Aussies wagon.
And as we can see, great defense from Kirk Penny and the New Zealand team coming straight back in there. And hard call on Joe Ingles. He did go for the ball. Professional foul. I don't know about that, Tony. What do you think?
Yeah, I've probably got my green and gold goggles on right now. I think that he was making a legitimate play of the ball. It looked worse than what it was. So I think that it was a bit hard done by there.
You know, Australia doesn't want to give up anything too easy in that. I don't think there was anything, vicious into that foul. He went up there, tried to attempt for the ball. He got the ball, a little bit of an arm, and he just fell off a little bit awkward.
Well, Australia need a lift now. They need something like that to get them going because they're really struggling offensively and defensively. They've got no easy baskets whatsoever at the offensive end. And New Zealand's defense is really generating some good transition points or baskets or opportunities for them. And they seem to be scoring a lot easier.
And New Zealand now up by the magical 7 points that they have to be up by in order to extend this game potentially into extras, or if they win by 7 or more, well, 8 or more. Oh, look at that! Thomas Abercrombie rises above the rest.
That would be, as of right now, 2 of his biggest points in his international career right now.
Man, can that kid jump? Wow! Have a look at this, Thomas Abercrombie. Woo! Right over Nathan Jawai.
And that's a great pass. That LU pass is not an easy pass to throw, but Kirk Penny on the money, throwing it right in front of the rim for Thomas Abercrombie to finish.
Tall Blacks now up by quite a few. Newley looking to steady the ship, finds Joe Ingles into Jawai.
And this is what Australia's got to do. They got to really pound it inside.
And they throw it out of bounds! Tall Blacks ball!
And this is what happens when the team raises that intensity level. The other team starts making mistakes. Australia really don't know what's going on offensively. No one's willing to step up and take that shot. And defensively, the Tall Blacks are just having their way with the Australians.
Look at this underneath! Mika Vukona with 2 more!
And I think that's exactly what you said there, Tony. Australia needs somebody to step up right now, and they don't have anybody.
And, well, this humongous crowd, midweek here, the TSB Bank Mika Vukona. Abercrombie, man of the moment here for the Tall Blacks. 59-48. Abercrombie spins, puts it up. Yes! Timeout! The Aussies need a standing 8 count. Timeout!
Hey, it is absolutely deafening here in Wellington right now. You still can't count Australia. Australia is just weathering this run right now by Australia, and hopefully we can get something going for them coming into the end of this third quarter.
Thomas Abercrombie, the next big thing in New Zealand basketball. He's showing you why. Let's go into Brett Brown's timeout here with the Aussies.
Is there any way we can hear a little bit better or no?
1 through 4 is we're going to guard him now.
Third quarter scoring 23-8.
And 20 years of basketball involving
Nate's going to be a blitz.
With 3:49 left to go here.
Now make sure you rotate underneath, and you get the rebound. We're playing out.
3,657 people in the building.
Get
Oh my
organized.
God, 15 chairs for the Tall Blacks.
Here's James Harvey. We're going to bring over here Brad Newley, right? You're going to enter it. You're going to go on it. You're coming down into it. Shooter. Big roll guard.
Maybe with a crowd like this, Wellington could do on the second NBL team. What do you think?
Get yourself organized.
Well, check it out, good people. With 3:49 left to go here in the third quarter, the Australian Boomers are 0 from 9 from outside, beyond the arc, and I'll tell you what, that'll never happen again in our lifetime. I mean, it's just something that doesn't happen.
Well, I think you can just put it down to New Zealand's defensive pressure. They're forcing them to take threes, but none of them are wide open.
Right.
A lot of them, they have a hand up, and at the moment, Australia aren't connecting, and that can affect your confidence.
Come on, Wellington defense.
Well, it's definitely a hostile crowd here for the Boomers as they're right up against it. But as we've seen in the past, they can come back from pretty much any deficit. And there's Brad Newley, who'll get rejected by B.J. Anthony. Abercrombie comes up back the other way. And he will just lose it out of bounds, unfortunately, for the Tall Blacks. And look at this, the Boomers looking to work their way right back into it quickly.
I think Australia needs to start to go inside a little bit more to Nathan Jawai, try to get something going, maybe a little screen and roll as they're trying right here.
Newley again off the glass, and he is just keeping the Aussies within screaming distance of the Tall Blacks.
That's a great crossover onto his right hand there, realising
Yes.
that BJ had covered up his left, closed it out, and then just switching hands and finishing with a nice touch off the glass.
Lindsay Tate on the wing, finds Abercrombie. He can also jay up the 3 ball. Kirk Penny for 3, that was well short, thought he was fouled. There's Mika! Mika Vukona for 2, cleaning up the garbage down low. 63-50, the Tall Blacks up by 13 now. And look at this, between Gibson and Ingles. Lack of communication, they're really not talking out there. There's Nathan Jawai, and he will not get it to go, but he will be going to the line.
Last 2 possessions down for Australia. They're working that side screen and roll, and it's working with them. They got Newley going to the basket the first time, and then they got Nathan Jawai coming off that screen and roll to the basket, getting fouled.
Nathan Jawai now at the line here, looking to scratch back into this 13-point lead, which the Tall Blacks have amassed here on the Boomers. And listen to this place when he's at the line. Short, B.J. Anthony will get the rebound, kick it off to Lindsay. Tall Blacks now with the ball. 2.5 to go here in the third. Once again, Brad Newley, high scorer of the game with 15. Check that, Kirk Penny has 16, Newley with 15. Lindsay Tate goes to penetrate, finds Mika Vukona.
4 on the shot clock.
Mika puts it up, off the glass, you gotta be kidding me, Mika! Did he call the glass?
He's got some good credit. The bank is open for Mika. I don't know if he called that one or not, but hey, New Zealand will take that.
Take it to the bank!
Mika has 16 points too. You
11 of 12. Pretty good for Mika Vukona.
Mika Vukona going to the Gold Coast Blaze with Pero Cameron. And look at Nathan Jawai with a massive set down.
And that's what Australia needs. Australia needs a lift right now. Can they go hop on the big man's back?
15 on the shot clock here for the Tall Blacks. Lindsay Tate looking to penetrate, does so. He's left alone off the glass. Yes! And Mika Vukona and Nathan Jawai have a little talking. Look at this between Mika and the big man. Mika doesn't want to take any of it, baby.
And that's it.
Oh, and look at this. Somebody called somebody something. Somebody's mom got mentioned or something. It's all gone bad. Technical foul. Technical foul.
They got a double technical foul. I would love to hear what Nathan Jawai said to Mika Vukona.
Whatever it wasn't a very nice thing. I can guarantee you that, because the whole look on Mika's face just changed.
And that's it. Mika plays with a lot of heart and passion, but for him to get riled up like that, that must have been something. Must have been something said.
Well, it must have started with this big, massive set down here. Whack!
And that's what you want from a big guy.
Little scream in there. Not too much in it. In any event, the fuse has been lit here at the TSB Bank Arena. Oh, and Adam Gibson, a stray shot from outside. 0 for 10 for the Aussies from outside. Trans-Tasman rivalry at its finest hour right here with the Tall Blacks and Boomers. Pledger down low. Oh, and rattles down. He gets his own rebound again. And that one goes home.
And that's what hurt Australia in that first game. Offensive rebounds. New Zealand, 6 offensive rebounds, and I think 4 of them in this third quarter right now. Australia needs to put a body on somebody, keep them off the boards.
Nathan Jawai with it, working on Pledger. Gibson goes by him, he lets him go. 10 on the shot clock. Nice movement from the big man. Couldn't finish, and it's making a scoop it up. 39 seconds left to go here in the third. 69-53. Do not adjust your TV set. Lots of time left in this one, a whole quarter, in fact. Lindsay Tate has it, 9 on the shot clock for the Tall Blacks. 6. Hey, look at this. They're going to give him another lane to Nathan Jawai. Will that basket count, Ed Book?
I don't think it will. I think that was a good defensive block. And the one thing New Zealand's got to do, they got to continue to be aggressive, taking it to the basket, and they can't afford a huge drought like they did on the Sunday night and not go out and score. If they continue to be aggressive on offense, pick and rolls, going to the basket, and that's really worked for them tonight.
They're just dictating the terms right now. Australia really have no answers at both ends of the floor. They're executing. The passion is there. Lieutenant Dan's into it.
Oh, loving it.
And that's it. As we saw on the New Zealand bench from the commentating booth, giving Mika a standing ovation as he came back out. And that's what New Zealand's known for. New Zealand's known for that passion that they play.
Yep.
You know, they might not be the most talented with the most height, but they do come out and they play with a lot of heart all the time. And this is how we got to 4th place in the world champ. You know, we were kind of the unknowns out there, but we came and we believed and we came out with a lot of pride.
You got to 4th in the World Champs in 2002 by the block. It goes down in basketball folklore history against Puerto Rico. Ed Book swatting away the ball that brings them to the semifinals. Dellavedova from the elbow. Yes! And leave it to the young kid to steady the ship.
Yeah, that's a nice move. Nice recognition there.
Michael Fitcher!
Quarter. He is a killer.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of 3, New Zealand 74, Australia 55. Michael Fitchett, I'll tell you, last year against the Boomers, he also hit a shot almost from half court. He nailed one in Sunday night's game at the end of the quarter. They're going to get him the ball more because he is an ultimate absolute sniper.
And that is why Mike Fitch is on this team. He can shoot the basketball. If you leave him, give him any kind of light to the day, he's going to knock him down.
Well, have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. And the thing that is just bouncing off this page of a three-pointer, 0 for 9. We have him down for 0 for 10. In any event, it's 0, and it's 3 quarters of play, done and dusted. And that's just not going to get it done. Doesn't matter who you're playing.
Look at that rebound count once again, 21 to 15. The Tall Blacks coming back into it, and 0 of 9 from the three-point line is just what's hurting the Australians.
5-1 with the blocks, though. That is huge.
And they have been big. Nathan Jawai trying to control the paint inside, but he can't do it all himself. He needs the rest of the guys to step up, especially on those screen and rolls that New Zealand's been throwing at them. They need to get somebody out there, as Tony mentioned before. They're basically going to need to either switch that or be aggressive on it, double team it, or hedge, do something, because what they're doing right now is not working.
Well, check this out, good people. This is what started the whole fracas between Jawai and Mika. A little slap to the throat there from Jawai to Mika. Mika didn't like it, but then Jawai said something to Mika right about there is when Mika's whole persona changed. Ooh, if you can read lips, block your eyes.
Hey, Mika's a little guy, but he ain't going to back down from too many people in that, so.
And still, Mika Vukona, I would have to say, is probably one of the best athletes, athletic ability of anyone on the floor out there tonight.
6'4", very athletic. He actually gets in there, great rebounder, and that's what he's done really, really well. And tonight, as Tony mentioned before, a bonus, 17 points. New Zealand definitely wouldn't have expected that from him.
Abercrombie finds Kirk Penny. Kirk Penny really hasn't had to take all the scoring on his shoulders. It's been spread out here. Oh, and Fitchett gets tripped by Jingles. And Joe Ingles, it looked like it obviously was
Fitchett hobbling away.
An inadvertent trip. Didn't mean it by any means, just kind of got their feet kind of tied up there. But it will be a foul in any event. Michael Fitchett hits the floor hard.
And that did save them. The shot clock was running down. That foul did save them. I think there was only 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Now they got a fresh 24 to work with. They really got to make Australia work here on defense.
Kirk Penny, top of the key, now on the wing. He's double-teamed. Dellavedova and Jawai came out to help him a little bit there. Here's Fitchett with it now. 3rd turning on the shot clock. Fitchett to Pledger! Pledger, yes!
Hey, he looked pretty agile for a big guy there. 7'3",
Yes.
taking the ball in and little finger roll.
Joe Ingles almost loses the ball. Abercrombie would have loved to steal that off him. Inside to Jawai, off the glass, and he's not going to miss from there. Good work from Nate. 57-76, 9:01 left to go in this one. If the Tall Blacks can hold on for more than 8 points, they will be taking home the silverware. Being the Al Ramsey shield, and look at this! Abercrombie in the lane with a little stutter step hesitation move.
Australia is so into guarding their own man, getting no defensive rotation and helping out their teammates. Tends to happen a little bit as you see Joe Ingles with a circus shot.
Oh, man!
Nice finish.
The circus has come to town. Joe Ingles not even looking at the basket. Puts up a prayer and it gets answered as Pete Crawford is into the game here for James Harvey. Lindsay Tate coming off, Alex Pledger coming off, Michael Fitchett. Great minutes from those two guys. Fitchett will remain on the floor. Ingles at the line. Kirk Penny now bringing it down for the Tall Blacks. Mika Vukona goes to drive, finds Abercrombie, he's blocked from behind. Good play by Brad Newley. Abercrombie never saw him coming. Newley for 3, and they still still continue to suffer from outside. Dellavedova with an offensive rebound. They'll get a foul on the play, but geez Louise, 0 for 10 from beyond the arc for the Aussies.
And you definitely can't count Australia out right now. So only 18 points, 8 minutes left, still a lot of time. If they can start getting something going, either from the three-point line or to the basket.
Nathan Jawa with a kick ball there. That's going to be on Abercrombie, I believe. I thought it went off Jawa's foot, but in any event, the Aussies will get a fresh 24, much needed by them. And Gavin Few calls time here. Gavin Few right in front of our commentary position here. $18-point spread, 8:04 left to go. And one would think this would be nothing short of a shocking victory here for the Tall Blacks to take the Al Ramsey Shield away from the Aussies. But that man on screen is a basketball brain, and if anybody can get his Aussies back into this game, it's Brett Brown. Jawai with it. Jawai hassled by BJ Anthony. And look at this! Newley couldn't get the handle of it. Penny will knock it out of bounds. They will maintain possession, however, with 17 seconds left on the shot clock.
Everyone's looking at each other for something to happen. There's no offensive cohesion whatsoever.
Matthew Dellavedova, I'd get on him, Mike Fitchett, because he can sink him from there. I've seen it. Brad Newley with it now.
Nathan Jawai got Kirk Penny inside on the post. You got to give it inside.
And Jawai will be fouled by BJ Anthony. Good call there, Ed Book. He was open there momentarily. BJ collapsed at the last second. He'll get picked with a foul.
Yeah, great foul by BJ Anthony. He didn't want Nathan Jawai to get up above the rim once again and bring it down. So good foul for him. Make him earn it at the line, and this is what you want to do. They got no offensive flow going, so don't give them something to spark the fire, to get something going. Send them to the line, make them earn them.
Jawai at the line now. And he will miss the first. And well, as far as the series goes, the two games, if you add up the points, right now the Tall Blacks are up 10 points. It's all about point differential. If New Zealand win, they're going to win by 8 or more. And if they do that, they will take home the Al Ramsey Shield. Michael Fitchett with it. And he will be tripped by Brad Newley. That's the second time Michael's gone down by an inadvertent trip.
Yep. The fouls keep mounting up for both teams. We got A.J. Ogilvie on 3 fouls, Brad Newley, Joe Ingles, and also Gibson on 2 fouls, along with Newley and Jawai.
Once again, this is for the placement and rankings of the FIBA Worlds next year. BJ Anthony's shot no good. And Joe Ingles might have caught an elbow there on the way down from Mika, inadvertent once again.
Yep, Mika just trying to get into the rebounds, just maybe got a hand in there.
Jawai comes off, A.J. Ogilvie goes on, and there's a nice smack to the old chops. Joe Ingles with it, fix it on him, bit of a mismatch there. Ogilvie with it now, he's gonna drive on BJ Anthony, he'll get 2.
And that's what Australia did, more of that to the basket. They're obviously not hitting their threes, but they're exploiting that pick and roll a little bit, but this is the end where they need to turn it up and play some defense.
Yep. Mika Vukona, Kirk Penny on the roll! Off the glass, he'll be fouled on the way in, he'll go to the line, but great vision, great passing, great cutting by the Tall Blacks.
In that middle of the floor, the defense, and that's what it's all about right there, the Al Ramsey Shield. Australia versus New Zealand.
Kirk Penny shooting 80%, 4 from 8 from the line here. First one is short.
Penny's normally money from the line, but he's already missed a couple tonight.
Kirk Penny's normally money from the parking lot, and we've got somebody breaching the way in there, and well, it will be the Boomers' ball.
And once again, New Zealand hasn't scored in the last minute or so, and you got to stop that drought. As we saw in that first game, they went on a 14-2 run, and Australia really got back into it.
Here we go. Ogilvie, nice pass down low, not to be. Mika Vukona skies for the rebound, climbs the ladder, kicks it off to Lindsay Tate. Now the Tall Blacks looking to compile on this lead. Lindsay didn't get a free alleyway that time, and he runs into all kinds of problems. Pete Crawford is one of them. Newley will be fouled by Michael Fitchett. He wanted the professional foul, didn't get it. Michael Fitchett will be pinged with that one. Newley going to the line, shooting 2. And you're right, Big Easy, the Tall Black scoring has grinded to a halt.
It has. They haven't really got anything in the last minute or so. You know, and Australia's starting to get something going. They're cut into this lead by, it's only 15 now. So New Zealand's got to get something the next time down on the offensive end.
It's all about next year, good people. Turkey, Istanbul, the World Championships. The big boys come out to play. Check it out.
Have a drink, something to eat. Straight up in the medal ceremony.
En 2010, Campeonato del Mundo de FIBA, que nos vemos en Turquía.
That is going to be epic. And there is your quarter scoring there. And the third quarter is more than 2-1.
36 points in a quarter is that's just unacceptable. I mean, you don't even want a team scoring that for a half in international basketball, let alone for one quarter.
Now remember, good people, New Zealand have to win by 8 points or more to win the series, as the Boomers won by 7 in Sydney Sunday night. So it goes by point differential. Once one team wins one game, one team wins the other game, then we go down to the points. And well, the Tall Blacks in the driver's seat at the moment here, up 78-63 with 6:33 left to go.
And what I like, Australia, you know, Dellavedova is coming out and starting to bring some energy on the defensive end, which they've been lacking, especially in that third quarter. As Tony said, 36 points unacceptable for Australia, you know, but Dellavedova is trying to change that, coming out such a young player and trying to spark something to happen.
Yeah, well, if they don't get stops at the defensive end and they just trade baskets, this game's going to be as good as over in the next few minutes. So Australia really need to pick it up at that defensive end, and at the same time, New Zealand, they need to show some composure here and not get rushed into doing things that they wouldn't normally do.
Pledger rips down a massive rebound, and I'll tell you what, with 6:29 left to go, the Aussies haven't hit an outside shot. I mean, we could live to 155 years old and never see that again. That just doesn't happen. As we all know, the Aussies are prolific sharpshooters. Kirk Penny with a shot, no good. Newley with the rebound. Brad Newley's doing all he can to keep his Aussies in step here. Dellavedova stops and pops. That is a little too strong. Pledger with the rebound. And well, the time is now becoming friends here with the Tall Blacks.
But they got to still put the ball into the hole. They haven't done that in quite a few minutes now.
Pledger finds Tate, 10 on the shot clock here for the Tall Blacks. Lindsay thought about the 3, finds Penny open in the corner for 3. Off the back of the iron, but there's Pledger for an offensive rebound, and that is going to sting in the morning for the Aussies. 17 on the shot clock now. Lindsay Tate goes baseline, finds Mika Vukona, unmarked, and again 2 more!
And who would have thought Mika Vukona, leading scorer for both teams on 19 points. He's having a fantastic game.
Joe Ingles back the other way, can't get it to drop. Penny with the rebound.
And you got to give credit to Alex Pledger. Even though he didn't block it, he disrupted that shot.
And Pledger will be called with a little bump there down low. And again, it's just great vision from Kirk Penny, whether he's dumping it into Alex Pledger or BJ Anthony. When he gets double teamed, he knows what to do with the rock. Kirk Penny, one heck of a player.
Dellavedova's doing a good job on him in the second half, especially in this fourth quarter. Kirk has to work for everything he has. So if he can hit those open men, it's going to take the pressure off himself.
Mika Vukona finds Pledger over to Fitchett. Fresh 24 here for the Tall Blacks. That must have been a foul on the Aussies, obviously.
Yeah, Mika's calling it. He's got Dellavedova in the post, but he's doing a great job with that young kid right there.
And Crawford will get the steal. He weaves back and forth, and look at Mika come back and pack Peter Crawford's lunch. Yikes!
Mika Vukona, he's doing it all. He wants this more than anybody out there.
Kirk Penny fights Lindsay in the corner for three. That rims up, but there's Pledger! Look at Alex Pledger. How many offensive rebounds can one guy get?
I don't know. He's got more rebound than a trampoline out there right now.
He's got to get the points on the other end, though. Out it goes to Newley for three. Yes! Brad Newley nails a three ball. That is their first three-pointer of the game. 1 for 11. Fitchett with it now for the Tall Blacks.
And that's what New Zealand didn't want to see. They didn't want to see Australia get that first shot off.
Mika spins. Mika Hassel. Mika
And New Zealand recognising the mismatch that they have at the moment. Australia running with 4 guards and Ogilvy in the centre. They've done that most of the game, playing with the 4 smalls and the big. Yeah. But that creates a mismatch, and I think Mika's done a great job of exploiting that, and that's probably why he has 19 points, as you see Peter Crawford getting blocked on a transition three.
He's doing it on both ends right here. He's being very aggressive, wanting it.
Fantastic stuff from Mika Vukona, and he'll nail his free throw as well. Mika Vukona started off as a developmental player for the Breakers a few years back, and now he's just working his way right up the ranks. He's with the Blaze now, and Payroll Cameron as Brad Newley gets him ejected by Pledger. And he will be fouled. Pledger thought he had all ball there.
Yeah, I think Pledger's right there. I think it's a bit unjust. Newley going with his patented right-hand hook, running down the lane, trying to just kiss it off the backboard there. Pledge did a great job coming across here.
Well, here it is.
Good move. You know how it is as a big man, Tony. We don't like to see that at all.
Newley sticks to first.
Maybe they said they got him with a little bit of the body. That's the bailout call, as they call it.
And the second one is off. Mika Vukona scoops down another rebound. Mika Vukona, the do-all-man, here for the Tall Blacks. Pledger finds Fitchett. Top of the key now, Tate, 10 on the shot clock. Tall Blacks really in no rush here. Mika Vukona's got it, double teamed. Dellavedova dives, gets the steal, finds Newley, he's on the run. He'll dump it off to Crawford in the corner. 19 on the shot clock here. Ogilvy has it, and he will get called with a travel.
And that's big.
And we get a timeout called on the court here. Tall Blacks 83, Boomers 68.
Some of the decision making right now by the Australians right there. They got possession, they closed down the fast break. Don't need to get it back all in a row. They need to really just work getting a good shot, and I don't think they did that right then. I think they could have just pulled it out instead of going for the quick, easy two.
A little bit of confusion there. I thought that was a timeout call, but there wasn't. Players back out there on the court. Kirk Penny now will bring it up for the Tall Blacks. 3:18 left to go. Once again, the Tall Blacks have to win by 8 or more to get the goods.
Nathan Jawai back into the game. He hasn't seen much time this second half.
I'll tell you what, I'll say it. For a Dallas Maverick, he does not impress me. Look at that, Lindsay Tate! Now we get a timeout. Now it's for sure. And this place erupts into insanity.
And it does. I don't know how many people thought New Zealand would be up by so many points, especially in this second and crucial game.
Look at that, Kirk Penny again with the vision. Beautiful acrobat by Lindsay.
Once again, the Australians with no weak side help. You know, they're running a double at Kirk, which you might need to do, but you need to have someone rotate across and be able to help out. Otherwise, it's just going to be too easy for the Tall Blacks.
Yeah, it does. It does look like Australia is about a step behind everyone else. And even on that double team that they had in that corner, it was almost like a half-heartedly trap. You know, there's really no passion or really intensity on that defense on the Australian side.
This would be a huge feather in the cap of the Tall Blacks, to say the least. A couple of former Tall Blacks there. Dylan Boucher, Chris Tupu, now on the coaching staff of the Tall Blacks. With Nenad Vucinic there and Chris Tupu, it's kind of like the Nelson Brain Trust there, Ed, from your neck of the woods there. And here we go with 3 minutes left to go. Do you believe?
Well, I think it's a little bit too far for Australia to actually, win the game, but they can still get those points. I think they need to get within 7 points. So I think that's reachable for them. So that's the kind of goal that they got to have in their head going in these last 3 minutes.
And that's exactly what Coach Brett Brown talked about as Jingles puts up a three-pointer and nails it. Oh, man, he's awesome. Joe Ingles. Penny double team. Dellavedova's right up on him. He needs help. He finds it in the form of Mika Vukona. He'll get the ball stripped by Gibson. Newey out of bounds. Tall Blacks ball.
Hey, great defensive pressure by Australia, but then they turn around and cough the ball right back up, and that's what you don't want to see. Great hands by Adam Gibson and just throwing it away. And Brett Brown not happy.
No, not a happy camper at all.
And those are crucial possessions that you really want to take advantage of. You play great defense, put the other team under pressure by going back and scoring on them.
Well, let's all take a little breath here, because it has been just absolutely unbelievable here. Michael Fitchett will inbound looking for Lindsay Tate.
It's only 14 points in this game right now. If they can get a good stop here, come back down and score, it's looking good for Australia.
Lindsay Tate with 10 on the shot clock for the Tall Blacks. Goes to penetrate, Newey on him. Lindsay back out to KP for three. What a shooter's bounce! What a shooter's bounce!
Hey, when it's going right, it's going right.
Joe Ingles back the other way, can't buy a basket. Mika Vukona's hassled by everybody. And it will be Tall Blacks ball. Unbelievable shooter's roll by Kirk Penny. I thought that thing was off by a mile. What a bounce. Oh, look at this. Joe Ingles.
Now the first, the one on Tom Abercrombie was an intentional foul. That one should be unsportsmanlike foul as well.
I agree. I agree.
Definitely.
I agree.
It's easy to agree when you're 17 points up, boys.
Hey, Tony, come on, don't be mad. It's okay.
Wow. Well, yeah, KP there just kind of wanted to take him for a slow dance, I think. In any event, Joe Ingles will be going to the line here. 71-88, Tall Blacks in the driver's seat. 1:58 to go, just under 2 minutes. These are big shots for Joe Ingles. First one is money. And again, Wellington, what a fantastic basketball town here. We're midweek in Wellington, and this place is packed out, of course, because the Aussies are in town. And that one is good as well.
And expect the full court pressure once again
absolutely.
from Australia, trying to disrupt something.
And that's a foul on Joe Ingles, yes. Good sportsmanship there by Joe Ingles.
Obviously realizing that Mika's strength is not from the free throw line, so they feel that they have to try and get this back to 7 points fairly quickly, and they've got only 1:55 left, so putting Vukona to the free throw line early.
Look at that, 22 points, 9 rebounds, and he's actually 1 for 1 from three-point line.
and he's one rebound away from a double-double. Mika Vukona playing the game of his life.
And that's what, New Zealand needed. They've been relying on Kirk Penny. When they went over to Europe, played those games there, he was one of the main scorers in that. And this time, Mika Vukona stepped up. Alex Pledger, once again, another big game. Lindsay Tate, BJ Anthony really stepping up.
Three ball way off the mark. And hey, I think the white flags are in the air, ladies and gentlemen. Lindsay Tate has it. Finds Fitchett up to Mika Vukona.
Good ball movement.
And we've got a foul called. Della Vedova will foul Mika Vukona. And can you believe what is happening here? The Tall Blacks look like they're going to take this one out with enough points to win the Al Ramsey Shield and get preferred seating at the World Champs next year.
Well, I think this has just been a lesson. The last two games for the Boomers, they were complacent on Sunday.
Yep.
And then tonight they came in, they raised that intensity a little bit, but then the Tall Blacks matched it and took it to another level. So it's a great lesson for these young kids that are coming into this Boomer squad and what it should mean to wear that singlet. And you can't be complacent against any team in this world.
Mika will miss the second one here. I'm not sure what the TAB count was after the first game. I know it shrank up after the first game. Ingles for three, and that's off the mark. Fitchett with the rebound. Oh no, watch out! Oh, Pledger just lays it in. I was getting all excited there for a second.
His ankle's still a little bit sore.
Adam Gibson nails a three. Now they're starting to shoot threes like it's raining in here. And Della Vedova will foul Kirk Penny. And how good is this for the confidence of the young bucks of New Zealand Tall Blacks?
Oh, it is. Alex Pledger stepping up big for New Zealand once again. 16 points on Sunday, and he's got 15 points tonight. And just jumping off the wrong foot on that layup.
Kirk Penny at the line now with 19 points. Let's make it 20. 20 points for Kirk Penny.
And this is only the second time in New Zealand basketball where they actually finished in front of Australia for the seeding, taking the first seeding. And the first time was back in, when was it, Dan? 2001?
Wow! A generation ago.
I still remember my first times coming out to New Zealand 15, 16 years ago. Australia beating New Zealand by 50-plus points on a regular basis. And now, each and every year, New Zealand's coming out and competing.
94-76, just over a minute to go here. In this competition, it looks like the Kiwis will shock the Aussies. And while we have a moment here, Tony, I want to wish you the very best this season with the Burger King New Zealand Breakers. We wish you the best, man. I hope you play really well. Give it hell.
Thanks, Dan. We can definitely take a lot out of tonight, and some of the performances. Alex Pledger is a breaker this year, and Kirk Penny. Obviously, we don't like to see Mika Vukona do as well. But we've got a lot of good, exciting things to look forward to this year.
Big loss for New Zealand basketball. It would have been nice to have Mika Vukona back here in New Zealand. But, anywhere he goes, he's going to give it his all, and he's going to play his hardest.
Lindsay misses the first here. There's Mika Vukona, an athletic freak indeed. 6'5", 6'6", but he plays like he's 7'5". He can just jump, and he's just athletic. He's fantastic. Newley coming down now here for the Aussies. Jawai, he'll get it stolen from Pledger, just rips it off him, and that's going to feel good. Penny will be fouled by Newley, and Brad Newley is beginning to realize what is just happening to his team here at the TSB Bank Arena. And geez, just having a look at those two benches, you can tell which one's winning. Kirk Penny nails the second here. If he nails the second one, he will be a 20-point buffer. Breakers up by 20, baby!
Less than a minute.
Here comes Gibson. round 3. That's off the mark. There's Jawa. He wants to put it in. Look at this. Nathan Jawa. Oh, he gets ripped off him. Kurt Penny. He's got it. He'll slow things up. Find Michael Fitchett. And there will be a foul called on that play. Michael Fitchett going to the line. And out of anybody out there on the court, Michael Fitchett is one of the last guys you want to foul. And well, the fans that came out to see this game here tonight have been really treated to a fantastic competition.
High fives and he had a smile on his face.
You hear that? I was pumping up Michael Fitchett. Unbelievable. He misses his first free throw. Every time,
That's
right?
the commentator's curse.
Every time.
You did it to him.
Yes, he will nail the second one.
Fitchett makes the second.
And this coach, Nenad Vucinic, it's classic. You don't know if he's up by 20 or down by 20.
But I did have a glance over there just a few seconds ago, and I saw him giving his assistant coaches high fives, and he actually had a smile on his face.
Really?
The 6 years I played for him, I don't think I hardly ever saw a smile on his face.
Alex Pledger going to the bench, and he is fantastic find for New Zealand basketball. Good luck in the Breakers this season. Alex Pledger, you played well.
And I don't know how much people know here in New Zealand, this is a huge win for New Zealand.
And you got to think he definitely impressed Andre Lemanis. I mean, Andre's sitting down there. He's looking at Kirk Penny. He's looking at Oscar Foreman. He's looking at Abercrombie. He's looking at Pledger. On that level, he's got to be happy. Miss Jawai puts it up. Miss Jawai puts it up. Miss. And he will be fouled.
And it's good to see Alex Pledger. He had a big smile on his face. They know he's played a great series over in Europe and come back here to finish it off. Great job for himself.
Yeah, he should be really pleased with the way things are going. And this man should be extremely pleased. Mika Vukona. What a great game he's had. Exceptional game. A man who plays above his height. It just, you know, the Australian 2 and 3 guards are taller than what Mika is, and he just goes out there and plays like he's about 6 or 7 inches taller than he is.
And that's it. Only 6'4" and just grabbing rebounds. I think he had a double-double now.
Jawai, second one is off the mark. Joe Ingles thinks about the 3, puts up a shot, shall we say, no good. Gibson puts up a shot, no good. Who's got it? Kurt Penny comes down with it. Kurt Penny will be fouled by Brad Dooley. 21.2 seconds left to go. And it's all over but the crying, baby, because I'll tell you what, the New Zealand Tall Blacks are ready to take the Al Ramsey Shield back to their headquarters.
They haven't had it in a long, long time, and it's about time it came back.
And listen to this crowd. Tall Blacks, Tall Blacks. That'll bring it back up to a 20-point buffer. And that one is good as well.
And here comes Kirk Penny coming out.
Kirk Penny feels it. What a fantastic standing ovation for Kirk Penny here at the TSB Bank Arena.
And they all deserve it.
Joe
Nobody
Ingles.
thought New
Shot.
Zealand with such a young team.
And we've got a foul called here. 9.8 seconds left to go.
And what a lot of people said here, Dan, this is New Zealand's rebuilding year. Hell, if this is rebuilding, imagine what they're going to go to from there. Wow.
The Tall Blacks have only ever defeated the Australian Boomers 5 times. This being the 5th. 3 times in Wellington.
Wow, you just heard that. 5 times. The Tall Blacks have beaten them 3 times. It's right here in Wellington. So the TSB Bank Arena here in Wellington, a good luck charm for the Tall Blacks. Lindsay Tate misses the first.
I think it's got to be the crowd here. The crowd comes out in force.
Certainly
They
do.
love their sport here in Wellington. As he said, New Zealand, the netball was on last night here, sold out here tonight. Once again, quite close to it.
9.8 seconds left to go. You got the Blitzlow Cup on Saturday. You got some more silverware coming home. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tall Blacks win. The Tall Blacks have just beat the Australians. Unbelievable scenes here at the TSB Bank Arena in Wellington. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tall Blacks have just shocked and rocked the Aussies 178. Nobody saw this coming, especially not the Aussies. Alex Pledger, Rob Lowe, all the young guns, the debutantes, played really well. Nathan Jawai perhaps didn't play his best series. We wish him luck